Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back to this episode of the Meade Truth from the Messenger Studios. I am live in studio with my good friends, Mark Burnett, and the Fair Board President, David Pace. So, let me see if I can flip over to that so everybody can see it. There they are. And we're here together. Say hi, guys.
Hey.
So today we got a lot to cover. If you didn't know it, MeadeCountyKY.com for the Messenger KY. You can not only read the newspaper there, but you can also get your copy digitally downloaded of the Fair catalog. And today we're going to talk about Fair because I think that's fair to talk about the Fair on this show.
I think that's the same joke we made last year.
That's fair.
That's fair?
Yeah, that's fair.
I was just saying, I can remember driving to Steve's house a year ago, wondering why they want me to come to his house. I was always out there, and I've had a ball ever since, every time I've been on.
Oh,
there.
Yeah. Well, and we're back, so I think it's exciting.
Well, we did take a week off. We had some vacation and stuff last week.
We did.
Yeah, you know,
That's
it's all
okay.
right. We gotta have some recharge time. So
That's okay. So on this week's episode, we're going to get into the fair. Like I said, the catalog is up. You can see almost all the things we're going to talk about. So if if we spoke too fast or you didn't catch something, I'll make sure that Mark and I speak slow enough so you can keep up. But really, you're going to hear most of this from David today because him and his team have been working very hard up to this point. And so has the crew from the Messenger to try to get this product just right for this year's fair season. David, take us into where you're at and what we got left to get ready before we start next Saturday. Well, it's not this Saturday.
Maybe
It's Saturday.
Is there anything new this year?
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
we have this small event on Wednesday evening that we're actually doing. It's actually going to be live music in the main arena. We'll have a stage with, right now, it's Army of Life will be performing in the main arena. And the reason that is, in our back arena this year, for the first time, after lots of surveys asking for it for years, we will have Lone Star Rodeo.
Lone Star Rodeo.
And they are actually one of the better known rodeo companies, and they are actually housed kind of in Kentucky and Virginia, that area. They've been here a couple of times in the past, never during the fair, but this will be the first time during the fair we'll have it, and it will be at the back arena.
I think this is an event that's been missing from the fair, if I can say that, right? I think that the fair has been great over the years, but this is something that's got local interest, it's got regional interest.
Absolutely.
I think
almost 40,000 in attendance every year. It's one of the largest county fairs in the state.
I think this is just going to make it bigger. I mean, I think Wednesday nights is going to be a big night.
We had noticed in the last few years that our mudsling, which used to be a big draw for years, and it was just slowly going down on the vine, basically. And we brought in monster trucks for a couple of years trying to supplement that, and it just wasn't the draw that we were needing. So we're hoping you're totally correct.
Yeah,
it will be a draw.
People that I've talked to about it, just in my day to day, they seem really interested. So I've been touting it since you told me about it a few months ago, and I think that it's a good thing. I think it's going to be fun. I've never been into like rodeo and the full rodeo. I'm barrel racing and things like that. I know people who barrel race and things, especially around here. But last couple of years, Kathy and I have been going to PBR for the bull riding and stuff, and it's like it's a big event. It's a fun event to go to. Take the kids can enjoy it and stuff. And it's something that just seems so real, right? It doesn't, it's hard to fake a bull ride.
It is.
It's hard to fake roping a steer or what have you, right?
And I guess this is probably the best time to tell this, that the Meade Truth Studio won one of the first bull rides, so I don't know which one of you all it's going to be.
Oh, that's going to have to be Steve.
It'll be me. I'll do it.
No bull
I used
wants
to
a
ride
piece
bulls.
of this.
I did it a long time ago.
No
bull
bull
wants
shots in your back now.
No, actually not. That's probably one of the reasons why. But no.
We'll have to hire a new guy for that week.
You think? Yeah, I will not.
I'm
be.
just teasing on that.
I know it's
they
all
have to be a
good.
part of the circuit. We've had people calling.
I'm sure.
We think there's going to be a great turnout, and there's actually two kind of events in this. They have a circuit group that they actually will be the rodeo that they will show,
Oh, yeah.
kind of our show that we've hired them for. And after that event, then they still perform again.
Yeah.
They have others that didn't make the cut or something that want to get more points that they will ride after the fact. So the rodeo will probably last a while. We're trying to put extra seating in there. That's a big change.
Now, this
for
is in the
us.
back arena,
It's
right?
Back the horse arena where the mudsling, the KOI drag racing, all that's in that same arena.
So you can go watch an event over at the rodeo,
Right.
and then step over to the main arena for some music while you're waiting on another event you might want.
All the food booths.
All the food's there. It sounds like a
Now,
wonderful,
I will point out
wonderful-
that we did do a theme this year: family food and fun, on the cover of the magazine. So there will be lots of food there, great food, and I'm sure we'll get into that in a minute. But I didn't want to steal the thunder. Go ahead.
We are trying for that Wednesday night. We're working with the health department, the food booths. It is a little more inconvenient for somebody to have to go clear from the or back arena to food. So we're hoping that they're going to allow us to set tents for one night where the food booths can have their main booth open and a satellite booth serving out of like
Oh, that's good.
coolers, things
That'd be
like
good.
that, where they can kind of take care of the crowd as they need to, because we've never had a main event at that
Yeah.
arena. The mudsling was always kind of a
Well, why? Let me
twofold
ask you this:
deal.
why not have it in the front, in the front arena?
Well, twofold. Number one is the main arena is not nearly as wide as the back arena for
Okay.
that, and the length of being able to set up the pins that they need. We've got a lot more room up there, kind of that staging area to put all their pins in. And it actually, our main arena is built for motorsports.
Yeah, that's what
Our
that's what I
track
was
is
thinking.
elevated about 3.5 feet, and to make it work for rodeo, so the horses and all the bulls wouldn't be on a slant, we would have had to dozed all that down, then build it back on Thursday. So
Right. It makes it tough, especially when you have you have demo derby on the Thursday again, right, and then Friday, Saturdays back to big trucks and big pulls. Yeah, that's interesting though, because I didn't even think about that. The fact that until you started saying it was wider and stuff, I was like, you know what? It's always been built for the pool
That's the main
it makes sense.
So we're going on Wednesday. We'll be flipping the athletic events. We'll go to the main arena. We can set a stage and work on it, and still have all the athletic events. Where back in the back, where the animals and all the gates and the chutes and all that's going on, it just wouldn't work back there. Of course, a lot of them love being up under the shade tree, so it's a lot cooler. But we want them in that main arena, so they're the hero for the day. So
Yeah.
Now, can they come and bring like pop-ups and things out there?
for the
Up around the end of the other arena, or is that something that's not allowed?
we do let them during athletic events. They go back there because so many young children and older adults, young adults, and what we try to do just during that noontime when it's warmest, they can put some pop-ups. But during the fair, you cannot put a pop-up.
Right.
Because there's so many people sitting.
It's
so
hard,
tightly
because it takes
together.
up an entire
Yep.
section. So
It's bad enough for the tarpaulins that are on the ground, especially getting a tent up. Also.
Oh, I could only imagine. Yeah. So going in, that's only one event. It's going to be a huge draw.
I know,
Wednesday night.
and I didn't mean to start with that, but I thought that.
No, it's good.
Man, it's like that's the big difference for this year, and I
is the
wanted
big
to make
talk.
sure we talked about that.
But don't forget about the roar that comes every year, and it's those big machines. They got these big fat tires, and they're just pumping out the fuel and ripping this sled all the way down that track.
I would say he's not talking about demolition derby, right?
No, I
No,
hope not.
no.
But I tell you, our demolition derby has been classified one of the best in the region, and people love to bring those demolition derby cars through that tunnel.
I mean, it's
and they rev them up as
it's
high
a
as they
family
can.
affair around
It
here.
really
I mean,
is.
there's a lot of families whose grandfathers were in. I remember when I was a kid seeing some of their grandfathers, and then now they're. Well, I mean, it's probably 4 generations deep.
There's 3
that I'm seeing.
generations right now that come out there, and they'll go still to these. They're called partner demos, where this one drives, one does the brake and the transmission, and it's really neat to watch some of that. So. Harrison County, Indiana, just had their fair in Corden, and they used a new promoter out of Michigan for theirs, and I think they had like 60 different vehicles for that, for the largest crowd they'd ever had. We normally have 40 plus vehicles, cars, and then 30 some odd lawnmowers, and that doesn't count power wheels that come. And, you know, some people say, why do you do that? Well, lawnmowers are a way for younger folks to get into demolition derby without having to try to buy a car or try to build a motor.
Yeah.
A lawnmower they can work on pretty easily.
You can probably find something around for $300 or $400 that you can make work for the night, right?
Well, you hope it makes it one night.
Yeah.
And the other part is like for the power wheels, everybody says, well, that just takes so long.
Not really. I was there last year.
I do it
Those kids.
financially.
Yeah.
You look at that power wheel, and we talked about this last time. Mark sees it at the gate. They can bring those in a car. They'll come in with the trunk open, a power wheel sticking out of the back of it or out of the back seat, and you end up with a small individual youth trying to be a part of it. And then you've got 2 parents, 4 grandparents, aunts, uncles.
And they all come out.
It's the best
I've
deal
said
ever.
I got a visual on that last year. My kids got to participate, thanks to Mark and you for the hookup. They got the fever, so they got 2 power wheels. I'm coming with the RV, with the white trailer, with the ramp, and they're going to back them out. And no, I'm just kidding. We're not going all that out. But they're excited about it. I mean, the kids loved it.
And I guess some of the things that, before we get into schedule, we were able to acquire some field dirt this year, and we've expanded our pit area even again. We thought when we did it, we didn't think we'd ever make it any bigger, and we probably added parking for about a dozen semis extra.
Wow. I mean, because they were already up the hill behind the pits.
And the reason we did it was we were taking away from our everybody coming to the fairs parking. We were having to have more and more space for these big semis, and we were able to fix that now. Hopefully, we won't affect that parking back there. And the good thing for Wednesday night for the rodeo, we'll be able to use the whole entire pit area for parking. So we feel like we'll be able to park people right on gravel, right close to the event. So we really think we've gained some there. We are doing some other improvements to the back of the fairgrounds. We'll be Kissel Entertainment takes up a lot of space for their living quarters and things. And we've built a space in the back of the fairgrounds now for them to be able to move about 25 of their living quarters and workstations all to the back of the fairgrounds, to where it'll free up some more space up front for the carnival to expand, us to have a few more parking area around the fair office type scenarios, what we hope that gains us.
Well, I didn't say this earlier, but I wanted to excuse my voice for this week. I've just got over like a cold. I was on vacation all last week, and almost the whole week I had
David gave it to
sniffles
you.
and,
That's what I was gonna say.
David gave it to you.
I wasn't going to say that.
He was sitting next to you in the last
Kathy was
podcast.
convinced.
Across the table.
Yeah, Kathy was convinced that that she gave it to me, but now looking back on it, I think it might have come from David back. Who knows? But I had it. Tyler had it. Tyler's girlfriend had it. Everybody had it. So it was.
It's everywhere, right?
It wasn't. It didn't put us down, but it made us, just in the evenings, it made us go to bed a little earlier than we wanted to on vacation. So
That was as sick as I've been since I had COVID. I'll be honest with you. It was that tough.
Wow.
So.
Yeah. You said you had to get I don't want to talk about it.
yeah, that's a different show.
Yeah, hey,
That's
so,
another show.
I just want everybody to know in the chat, I put the link that takes you directly to the fair catalog. You should be able to download it, look at it. On page 3, it's got the table of contents for everything in there. At the top of the table of contents, I just want to make sure I got this right, because I'd hate to have made a misprint, but there's an $8,000 cash drawing at this year's fair.
It actually is 4 drawings. It is
That equals 8,000.
8,000 total. The first one is for 5,000, and then we do 3 $1,000 drawings.
Wow.
It's actually one of the highlights of the fair. People love it. They stay till 10:08 about.
I mean,
approximately 10 o'clock.
I would say we have.
Yeah,
I
you
would
have to
say
be
for part
present
of
to
our
win.
booth. I would say part of our booth we have passes, right? So, but that's the night that even though you have a pass, you buy a ticket.
Yeah, odds are better than the lottery on that night. So,
Yeah.
and it's whatever your ticket, and the only ticket you can get is buying it at the gate.
That's right.
And that's the big night. We have
Now,
to
for those of us who
reiterate,
deal with those,
Yeah.
those three ticket nights are tough, but you know it's part of it, and it's worth it. Speaking of the tickets, though, we talk about the price of the tickets this year.
I'm glad to speak to that.
So, and then we can get into the schedule if that's okay.
Can we say inflation?
Inflation has hit all of us.
Well, honestly,
but
they were $12
to be honest,
last year, I believe.
It's been $12 since 2019, I think it was 2018.
Yeah.
So it's been 6 years.
Yeah.
5 to 6 years since they've raised the prices, and really and truly, there were probably the last 2 years probably needed to raise them just from cost.
Fuel
things.
right now too.
Yeah, the fuel, but once you go into the decision and talk about that a little bit, and
it was.
And what is the price going to be?
It is the largest increase we've ever done for the fair, and you touched on it right there, Mark. We probably should have done, and we've always tried to do increments of $1, and we've done it one time in my career that I can remember, a $2 increase, but we actually tried to offset for so many years when we were able to profit from rentals for the fairgrounds. And we were able to do that with renting this ground to Nucor, which they paid rent for.
Yeah.
And we were able to rent to Ford Motor Company, and they parked vehicles out there. And that was another profitable, and that's how we offset.
And when you say profit, this is money that you put into the bank for the fair.
That's correct.
Right?
We
Because
put it
it's not
into
like
our
anybody's
account.
profiting
No.
personally from any of this. This is the fairground, the Meade County Fair
Rental.
Fair Board rented the ground so that they could have monies set aside to offset some of the costs that now we have to pay for.
And it actually is. It helps us do year-round maintenance. It helps us do improvements, just like we talked about, enlarging the pit area and build the pit house and things like that. People just don't realize the amount of funds it takes to put the blacktop, to put the bathrooms in that are air conditioned. We have handicap stalls. We've got baby changing stations now. We have special need changing tables throughout the fairgrounds now. We have, we do a lot of things that people don't realize unless it affects them.
Yeah.
And unfortunately this year we don't ever want to raise price, but financially this was a contract year for Kissel Entertainment. Mm-hmm. They were within an inch of leaving us.
Yeah.
They've been here 40 plus years. They had a chance at the Ohio State Fair.
That's a big fair.
As you said a while ago, Meade County's 40,000. This is probably 1.5 million people.
Yeah.
That they have captive audience, and they can probably charge $40
It's a big one.
for an armband.
Yeah.
And here we did raise the gate. This year will be $15 per person. And it's, we're not ashamed of that.
No, I don't think you should be.
It's still a deal. We still think you're getting a very
Because
fair
if you,
price.
I mean, you're getting the kids are getting all the rides.
All the rides.
Included in that price, which that's one of the things that you insisted on in the contract with Kissel, and that gets you to all the events, and the only thing you have to pay for is food when you're on grounds, and that's individual booths, and you can budget around that. But the fact that you're getting you're getting entry and you get everything, even every year, I'll say this: you can tell every year working the gates, taking selling tickets. We get people every year that come up and say, how much, and you tell them it's, last year it was $12. They said $12. They said, yeah. Then, well, how much are rides? No, the rides are included. What?
Yeah.
And they everywhere else they would go, they would pay an entry fee of $15 just to get into the fair, and then they'd have to go over and buy tickets or bands for the rides.
We just talked about the Harrison County Fair, and one of the things they do charge you to park, and then it's $15 to ride the rides. And if you want to go to watch the event, it was $21 on top of that. So you're paying about $50 a person to be able to watch an event and ride rides, and
that's
it's just tough when
it is tough. But the way you guys have always done it, I think you may be. Some people might watch this or come to the fair and see that $15 and say, "Oh my gosh." But that's because you're kind of a victim of your own success at that point, because you've been able to control those prices and get good events here. And now you have to, there's nothing we can do about it. The fact that it costs more to haul trucks here. It costs more to haul rides here. It costs more to haul your animals here.
In 4 years, we want Kissel to want to be here.
Yeah.
We'll never beat out Ohio State Fair. I'll tell people that, be prepared. If he gets that contract, we will have to be finding a new promoter. And the unfortunate part, if we go to a new promoter, we may have a different date.
Yeah.
We've always stood by the grounds. We want to be the last full week in July. Hey, maybe June 1st would be better. It's cooler. I mean, I don't know that. The early part of June was hot. Mm-hmm. So, we never know. And hopefully we'll see it.
I think once you get into June, get through June to the beginning of August, it's you don't know when it's going to be hot and when it's going to be rainy.
I mean, Hardin County Fair is tonight. What better night than today to go to a county fair?
Yeah.
I mean, it's gorgeous. Last night wasn't too good. They had tornado warning. Everybody was standing
we had the
outside
hurricane moving, the remnants of the hurricane moving up.
I did call their manager and said, "Have you ever bought hurricane or tropical storm insurance before?" He said, "Well, you think I need to?" I said, "Yes, I do."
Yeah.
I don't think he did, but of course they did get most of their event in. It stayed kind of west of their fairgrounds last night.
Yeah, yeah, it was, but there were some warnings and stuff last night
right
around.
Beside them. It was all the way through Hardin County.
I did see the one that came right up 65 there.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Their fairgrounds right on 65.
It is.
If you ever been out there, they've done a lot of work. Got a new manager, Marty Fulkerson, and we do a lot of work with them. And that's one of the things I like. People don't realize. We feel like we're the grandparent of these younger fairs that are trying to get. We've been kind of the grandparent for Breckinridge County for about 5 years now. I went and met with them probably a half a dozen times, if not more, to help them get the new group started. They went to 4 days. We loan them right now. They've got 2 of our portable sets of bleachers that'll hold 500 people. We loan them our 4-in-1, which is a grading tool that they can utilize on their grounds for their arena. We give them our timing lights for events that they can time, like horse events, things like that. We loaned them a cooling fan to keep their animals cool. So, this stuff is sitting in our storage. So why not let your neighbor borrow something that can benefit everybody?
And the whole point of the fair, whether it's Meade County Fair, Breckinridge County, is to bring community together.
Correct.
And so if we're helping, it just shows you what rural America is about, right? What rural Kentucky is about. Maybe it's not all rural America, but I kind of think that we all kind of share those values. It's about community and family. And if we promote that here, we promote that in our neighbors and all around the state. And I think that that's something that's very special. I talked to a gentleman yesterday. He's in Wisconsin, and he comes to he came to Kentucky to do some. He came to Kentucky to do some vacationing last year, and he said just going to some of these places in rural Kentucky where people were just so nice and so friendly and welcoming. He said it's one of the greatest experiences that he's had in traveling. He says he's been all over the place, and this the fact that we have a reputation of hospitality. Now, if I don't know if you go to Louisville, go to Lexington, you get the same thing, but you come down to Brandenburg, you feel that, and you feel the family here.
Absolutely.
When we have folks come to visit with us at the fair office, we invite fair boards from all over. We say it's not top secret. Our motto is make the fair a family affair at an affordable price.
Yeah.
So our goal is to have people come. The one thing they can't believe is they get there like 10 o'clock in the morning to talk with us, things like that, and they look out, and literally there's probably 2,000 lawn chairs and blankets and tarps all over the grounds.
Everybody gets their spot early.
They all say, nobody bothers those chairs. I said, you could probably get hurt more by taking somebody's chair than you would be if you did in there and did anything.
That's a true
You
statement.
probably get a little bit more trouble by taking their spot.
That spot,
You might be
that's
able to take their chair, but they still want their spot.
That's
That's
true. And every time we talk about adding box seats, that box seat list is worth, I think we're to 1994 when people signed up wanting to be on the list. As people give them up, they get a chance. We go 10 years before a box seat comes available. And then we looked into building more. And when we stake out people, they ride through the fairgrounds daily. So people check, oh, don't take away where I sit in my lawn chair. Well, they don't want you to use up all the space for people to pay to see. They want that lawn chair spot that they can.
Well, I'm glad you do that though. That trying to be mindful of the non-box owner. I mean, not that the boxes are super expensive. It's just a long list to get on them.
$100. That's the reason they don't ever give them up.
Yeah. So
I wouldn't either.
We could auction them off and make a lot more money.
probably.
Oh, you ought to. You ought to. Hey, I've got the schedule up in the live online version of the calendar. Do you want me to? Do you want
Let's
to
just talk about it. Yeah.
Go right into it. I've got Saturday, July 20th is the pre-fair event, and this is y'all's 26th annual Fairfest 5K and 1 mile run, and that starts at 7:40 in the morning and 8 a.m. and I think it's like $15 to enter the race. What do they? Let's see. What do they get if they win?
The first ones that sign up all get a T-shirt also.
Yeah, okay.
And this is actually handled by Larry Garner, who is our track and field and cross country coach. And we talked to him about that many years ago. And I'm a great participant in this. I fire the gun.
Oh, I was about to say, do you ride the golf cart or do you fire the gun? Okay.
Yeah, so that better be a gun after me if I'm running. That's all I can say about that. But it's a great kickoff. It's great. It brings the youth and a lot of people from other communities come here to support, and former cross-country people take part in that.
Good. I have the fair catalog up, and right below that it talks about the garden tractor pull. And oh, by the way, you have to have your registration in by June 19th. It's $15, but if it's after June 19th and on race day, it'll be $20 on the day of the race, and of course you won't get a T-shirt. So be sure to get in touch with them. Again, the numbers are online. I'm displaying it for you now, but you can get a copy of this at Meade County KY. The hard copies will be available at the first part of next week at both the city office. The fair board will have copies, and the messenger will have copies. Or you can go to the newsstand. You got to buy a newspaper, but it's inside the newspaper for free. It doesn't raise the cost of the newspaper. So the garden tractor pull weigh in at 4, and then it starts at 5 in the main arena. This is usually a pretty big event. How many entries do you think you'll see this year for that?
We had over 100 here last year, and it's actually they came from multiple states to be here for that. And last year, our antique tractor and engine show, which is on Saturday and Sunday both, was probably one of the largest ones we've ever had. And they actually added a antique tractor ride also last year, and they got to go for about an hour, 2-hour ride through the county, and it was really a really good draw for us this year for that. And that garden tractor pull, it started like you said, 5 o'clock, and it was midnight or so before it was over.
So the antique tractor ride went around the county. So it's kind of like I can't remember the car show that's out in California where they go for the car show, but then they do a ride on all these original equipment vehicles from.
They do this a lot of times throughout the year for fundraisers. They have like antique tractor rides. Last year, I think they took off and actually went Mormon Road, all out past New Corps Monument, on out through Pesto Valley, and then cut through Old Weldon.
Now, do they haul trailers and let people ride with them?
I think I know Louis Latondras pulls a trailer with seats on it if somebody wants to go. The
Like Field of Screams or the
I mean, it just
Pumpkin
been,
Patch.
yeah, it'd be kind of cool to,
most
I could see it
to
important
take
like
the ride.
tractor with a trailer with a porta can on it.
Oh yeah, I could see this. This is like having a Harley Davidson and going for a ride, and you get a whole bunch of antique
Electronic
tractors
tractor.
together. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like it.
It's good stuff.
That is good stuff. So on Saturday, you've got Department A Open Breeding Stock Beef Show. That starts at 5:30 p.m. and that'll be going on simultaneously at the Livestock Barn, which is really kind of good because if you've ever done an event where there's something going on at the Livestock Barn and then there's something else going on at the fairground at the same time, you usually are running past good food in between, so you never get hungry on the evening trying to catch a little bit of each of the things going on.
That's we try to spread things out. You can't have everything in one spot. So, and the way our schedule is, when we compared our schedule to multiple other county fairs, we think we have like 17, 18 more events than a lot of county fairs. So
Right.
we're really proud of that. And we couldn't do it. All the people that are superintendents and put on these events, we could not do that without them.
Right.
And our volunteer list is probably 1,000 plus people. For the food booths, the events, the booths. I mean, everybody comes out. Our booth building that you all set this up in, it's been full for about 3 weeks.
Oh,
and
good.
we've kind of got a waiting list right now and trying to make some things work out for folks, but it's been tough right now trying to fulfill that.
I'm glad you brought that up. I had a question about that for those who do have a booth space reserved for that event. When do they get to start getting those booths ready to make sure that they're freshened up and ready to go? Does that happen on the Saturday or?
We actually, next Thursday, the 18th, is our first work day. We start at 6 o'clock in the evening. The buildings are open that Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, or really what we call the work days. Some people wait all the way to Monday to get them ready, but I try to tell folks, we don't want you setting up at 5 o'clock on Monday afternoon.
Right.
Yeah, no.
Wanting to pull your car right down.
We try to come in
building.
Friday. We try to come in Friday night or Saturday sometime to do ours. Try it.
Sometimes after the parade. a
Yeah.
lot of times.
Sometimes
Yeah.
after the parade,
Yeah.
we finish up. But still, that's not. We definitely don't want to be in there on Monday trying to pull in.
It does
and
not work.
It doesn't because you got people there,
Yeah.
and it's already it's already too late.
That's the
So-
main pathway right there where you want to pull to the carnival.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody wants to walk through there, and somebody pulls up there and they try to back out, and a kid runs about.
Oh,
We
yeah.
just can't have that, and that's something we're trying to work on. And we're trying to tell people you can come, when you rent your booth, you can come pay your fee, get your whatever you get with it, and that way you can make sure you've got your contract signed, everything's there, and we're ready to roll. So
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we're playing softball that Friday night too, though this year. So
Oh, yay.
because we had makeup games, so we're still working on makeup games.
Okay.
So
On Saturday, July 20th, you've also got the Western Horse Show contest. It starts at 6 p.m. in the Horse Arena. The prices are listed. Registrations for that, protests, right? About that.
the first weekend there is no charge, no gate.
yeah, there's nothing on
Saturday.
Saturday or
Only-
Sunday.
It's the event fee, just the
Yeah.
fees associated with the event.
That's correct.
And then Saturday, also, the Cornhole Tournament starts at 7 p.m. That's in the Farm Bureau Community Building.
Correct.
That's always a big crowd, especially for our local bag throwers. I'm curious to see how many will be there, too, since our local watering hole that did a lot of that inside is not going to be with us at that time. But you've also got...
And it's air conditioned.
Well, it is air conditioning, yeah. And then Saturday and Sunday, you had already talked about the Antique Tractor Show. That's in there. And, of course, we got our advertisers. And then the Western Horse Show goes on again Sunday morning at 10 a.m. in the Horse Arena. So there's a lot to do. But there's an interesting part about Sunday. So I know it's 10 o'clock in the morning. People go to church at 10 o'clock in the morning. But there is a special service on Sunday at the fairgrounds. Could you tell us about that?
This was when years ago, what the parade used to be on Monday at 5 p.m. So people that tried to do floats, tried to work on Monday, it just was impossible. So we went to the Ministerial Association 20 years ago now, probably,
Yeah.
and we asked if we made it work, could we do the parade on Sunday afternoon?
Sure.
And we gave the reasoning why, and we said it won't affect your morning service or your evening service. But I said, I would like to ask you not to do your evening service and let's do a great big joint community worship service. And we've been very successful that we're able to talk about what's coming up with the fair.
Absolutely.
Be able to talk what's going on in our community. And we actually have a great gospel sing before it. So you get great entertainment. And then the churches go together and form a choir for the worship service. So
Love it.
really is a great fitting. And like I said, we have a great turnout and it's a great kickoff for the fair.
Now, I noticed this year we're going to start off at Meade Olin Park again and do the normal route for the parade and the floats and the lineup. It all starts at 2:30, begins at Meade Olin Park again this year. What do you think we can expect to see in the parade this year that could be unexpected?
Well, I think you're going to see a lot of people that, Tempter has a lot, some political aspirations will be there. And, we try
It
to
is an
stress-
election
I
season.
do know that. And I think we try to stress that people don't realize our parade is probably one of the largest parades we have around.
Yeah.
It's from the first fire truck that pulls out until the last piece of equipment used to come on the road. It was about an hour and 45 minutes. That's a long parade. And
That is.
our goal, and one of the things we strive for, is we're trying to take the gaps out of the parade.
Yeah.
What happens, you get motorized and you get somebody that's walking and talking. You can walk the parade, but don't go start
Talking.
shaking hands. It just won't work for the.
We saw that last year with Daniel Cameron. I think that dude needed a whole new outfit by the time he was done. He was sweating from
They
head to
don't
toe.
realize how much walking and talking
It's a-
that
it's
is.
a-
Troy
it's a-
Koch did that.
It's a
several
big
years back,
route.
too.
It's a big route, but it's the thing is that if you have if you're walking, walk it. It's fine. You won't go out and shake hands. It's fine. But the people that are with you,
Gotta go on.
you have to have an alternate catch up method. You can't you can't have your vehicle waiting for you.
Yeah.
So we try to get somebody with a golf cart or something like that. They can help catch people up if they need to or something
Well,
like that.
I've got 2 businesses to represent this year in the parade, if not 3 with my party affiliation. But I did want to announce that Donald Trump will not be in the parade this year. He will not be in the parade this year.
He will be represented in the parade.
He will be
though.
represented in the parade, I'm sure. And so will Joe Biden will not walk the entire parade. He will not be here. I just wanted to make sure everybody knew
Moving right along.
that they won't be here. And I
Yeah.
don't want any rumors started that they will, even though I've talked to both parties and they said, nope, thank you for the invite. Wow, that's what our election's
that
going to
was-
be like. It's so quiet.
That was so quiet. I was like, what? I didn't
Thank
know
you for
what.
that tidbit of info.
Thank you for
So let's get to
clarifying
Monday.
that for us.
You got the 4-H rabbit show, the poultry show. There's a lot going on Monday. How does Monday kick off for you? in the
Hold on,
fair?
let me say one more thing about the parade. So the parade is thank you. The parade is actually it's pretty much open to everyone though, right? I mean, anybody that wants to be in the parade can come down and line up. You have to line up by what time?
You're supposed to be there by 1:30.
Yeah.
1:30. So about an hour before it
No
kicks off.
registration. You just show up.
Yep,
and
they
things
just put
like
you in
that.
line. You
That's
say,
correct.
I want in. You put you in. Of course, if there's something that's outlandish or outrageous, they
are censored in some ways.
Yeah, because we try. And one thing that I always note this, in the rules for the parade, it says don't throw candy from the vehicles.
It says hand it out.
Hand it out, and if you can't, you need to find a way to do that because
Lay it down.
It's not that we don't want the kids to have candy, but the problem with throwing it, when they take handfuls and they try to throw it out the window of a vehicle, well, it spills on the
It gets right
blacktop.
there. That's right.
And the kids and the parents let them. They run right out to the car.
like it's not a car.
Like not a big car. A lot of
Yeah.
times it's fire trucks, and sometimes they don't stop them. I mean, you would think it's Halloween, and
Yeah.
really, what kind of brought this around? We saw in Hardin County no parades you can throw. You can hand out, but you can't throw. We had a lady come to the fair office about an hour after the parade, and she had the awfulest shiner you'd ever seen on her face, and she actually brought. It was a baseball team in the bed of a truck had blow pops.
Oh my God.
Great
Ouch.
big- and 8, 9, 10-year-old kid with a blow pop.
Wound up and throw that
the
sucker.
one strikes, and it hit her right there. And I mean, we didn't have a leg to stand on. I mean,
Yeah.
other than the fact, we can do our best, but it is almost an impossible thing to enforce.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I mean, and every year I always see people throwing candy out from it, and I cringe when I see that because it's like that. Well, it's a rules thing. First of all, it's like it's a rule. I'm not supposed to do that, but
We're
I
supposed
get
to
it.
do that in this country.
I
too,
get
but-
it. So, but we try to always have people actually walking and going to the kids and handing them, putting candy in a bag.
Most people
And
don't
things like-
realize that how big a safety deal that really is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not only that, but the way they run out to the cars in between, and they don't think about if a truck's pulling a trailer.
Yeah.
They run out where it falls off. Well, they don't think about the trailer. They're just paying attention to the truck. And,
Yeah.
it's those drivers, people in the parade, we really try to alert the drivers. You have to be on your toes.
Yeah.
Like just start right out. And the unfortunate part is you're driving a truck and got a trailer like you all pull most of the time. People are standing on that trailer.
Yep.
Not tied on. And you hit your brakes to stop for a kid. It's a domino effect on
Yeah,
the trailer.
it is.
People
And then
can
you got
fall,
people
get-
behind you,
That's
and,
right.
and they're on alert. So if you see the sudden break, they're suddenly braking because
Yeah.
they're trying to figure out what they want to make sure they're not going to hit something that we avoided.
That you
Right.
You can't just gradual. It's
That's right.
almost a
So,
bad start, so.
but anyway,
All right,
yeah.
so I want to roll right into Monday, July the 22nd. The 4-H FFA swine shows kick off. You've got like I said earlier, the poultry and the 4-H rabbit show. But the big event that starts off is Miss Meade County Fair pageant. That starts off at 6 p.m. at the Farm Bureau Community Building. I think we're going to have a rather large crowd. This is also, is it the second year that we have Miss Meade County Fair?
Could be the third.
Third,
I
okay,
think
yeah.
that's third year.
And I
it's
know
the
there
Miss
was.
and Ms.
Yeah, that's right. There was a lot of excitement I saw at the Fair Board's thank you dinner. That was the night we announced the relationship and getting the catalog together. But I'm hopeful for a great turnout for that.
Well, what's making this a little different? We had done it for 2 years. This is now going to be an event on the state level.
Yeah, that's
So
yeah.
in January, or there'll be actually two contests in Louisville when we go to our convention. That they'll have the Miss age group and then the ones that are 22 and older.
Okay. All right. And that is a women's only event. Just wanted to say
That's
that.
correct.
Monday,
That's
July.
another show.
It's another show. Monday, July 22nd, English Horse Show. That starts at 7 p.m. And you've also got the Demolition Derby. Not only do you have the Demolition Derby, but you got the little kids Derby too that kind of starts it off in the cars that you can throw in the trunk of the car. And you've got some cash prizes for this too.
And that's just the great draw. So as
Right.
we talked on it earlier.
Yeah. Okay. And then
Rides open at 6 p.m.
Yep.
that's right. Monday, July the 22nd, you have the Youth Talent Contest that goes on at the Farm Bureau building at 8 p.m., concluding the pageant. And then, let's see, moving right along, Tuesday, you roll right into the Special Needs Day. Now, this one's special to both David and I. David, you want to talk about this one?
We have a gentleman also, not just myself. I have a special needs brother-in-law, 65 years old, and piece of work, to be honest. And he been raised on a farm, so animals, he's not a bit afraid. But it's ability to bring out with no lights, no music, no anything, for anybody with special needs and their caregiver to come to the fairgrounds from 10 o'clock to 1 o'clock.
Right.
They get to see the animals. They get to be a part. Kissel Entertainment opened last year almost a dozen rides for them to be able to get on. If somebody is wheelchair bound, they actually have an area on the ride that they've taken seats off of that we can actually strap wheelchairs on
Very
the
cool.
merry-go-round, things like that. They usually have a game open. And then our food booths, I want to compliment that group. They all come out and they prepare food for these individuals to eat for free.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it's family and it's community
rural America.
and it's rural America right there. Rural
America.
It's
America.
America. And
That's-
and it to us, if you've never been there, if you've never seen it, we we didn't know what to expect the first year. Russ Fackler has a special needs son, and it was probably passionate with Russ, and he puts a lot of effort into this to make it. And we have many volunteers that want to be a part. Kristen Hebert, she was a Halbert, and she works through the high school. She helps us get this word out, and we ended up having multiple counties that showed up with people that we want them to have fun, and that's their time, and we don't want any interference with that. But if you've never seen it, it was probably one of the joys of being on the fair board to see that excitement and stuff being there.
Absolutely.
We Kathy and I love being part of that in little ways, you know, as far as, you know, shirts and things like that. Yeah. It's, you know, we don't really have a special needs person per se, but it is it's part of being community and family. And we love the fact that the fair does that day.
We had a gentleman that just happened to show up before, just happened to be there when it was going on, and he said, "What's going on?" And we explained to it, so he stayed there at the window, and people just were milling around, you know, and always talking, and we were all stay out in front of the fair office just to talk to individuals as they come by, and you know, I get emotional. I do it every year when I'm with y'all talking about this. I had a father and a mother come up to at the fair office, and they were just
take your time.
They were just crying. I mean, tears just come, and they said, "First time I've ever been able to bring my daughter to the fair." And those things just grab you by the heart. And, you know,
they do.
And they come every year. So, and we appreciate that, you know, and the people and that one gentleman that showed up that one day came to me the next year and brought me a check. Said, "I want to sponsor."
He wants to be a part of it.
Use it for whatever it can be.
Very good.
That's the things that. Sorry about that little.
No, you're good.
But I can't
that's
tell that
what
story
it's
without
about.
telling it.
That's what it's about.
Yeah. So, I there's nothing that's going to top that experience, but there's a lot more going on that day too besides that experience. But you've got to be there in the morning because there's a lot of people that are getting ready for the things that go on that evening, and this is when you get closer to the animals and stuff like that because there's the smaller animals. You got the sheep show, and it's the 4-H and the FFA doing theirs, and correct me if I'm wrong, I learned this year, the open sheep show, and that's for other counties that have events. They can bring in theirs. They can't win, but
they can in the open show.
Yeah, they can win in the open show, but it's really kind of a place for them to test out how they did before they do their own county. Isn't that right?
A lot of people that haven't had their county fair, and we're probably one of the later county fairs because what they're trying to do is got experience going to the state fair. That's where they're trying to get as many hours logged in that arena as they can.
Yeah.
And it's a way to train them into that. And you kind of touched on something there, Steve, and I think you all kind of got to see this last year from me is what most people don't realize. On Monday morning, we set up for Monday.
Yeah.
Monday night, we either try to get it torn down, or Tuesday morning, we're setting up for Tuesday.
Yeah.
So we set up, tear down, set up, tear down, set up, tear down every day.
And it's it's a vicious. I don't think there was one night you got any sleep and you changed outfits 4 times.
We actually, that was the night they were calling for rain after the monster trucks. We cleaned the whole arena, and you know that's the thing. We have so many.
That's
great
the year you
volunteers.
got your name too, I believe.
Might be, so, but it works so well for us with the volunteers, and people just don't realize. Mornings at the fairgrounds, we're not sitting around drinking coffee.
No,
it is a busy schedule of trying to make everything work,
Yeah.
and without the volunteers, we can't make that. There's 10 on our board, 3 secretaries, and we're not the ones that get it all done. It's those people that take their vacation to help make the fair work. They come and volunteer for weeks out there to make it what it is by cleaning it up, making it better for us. And I just want people to realize it's not just the fair board, it's the Meade County People's Fair.
Absolutely.
And that's why we have such a great fair, because everybody's got born and raised in it. My father was the manager of the fair for a few years.
I think you gave me the theme for next year's catalog, born and raised into it, going from black and white to current. You know what I mean? Who knows?
And it is generational, as Mark touched on a while ago. My kids don't know any different.
Yeah.
That's the thing, that it's just that it's part of it. And they have their friends that they've injected into the fair, and now they come from Chicago, they come from California, and they come for the fair week to be a part. They want to see it and be a part of it. So
I get it. So you got Goat Show, you got Pee Wee Miss Pageant also kicking off on Tuesday night. It's like every night there's a pageant. You can get your enrollment forms for the Pee Wee pageant in the fair catalog, or you can go online, or not online, you can call Pam Medley or Tiffany Medley. And their numbers are 270-980, 980-0914 or 270-945-1731. That's also up on the display. That takes us into the Rook tournament that's also happening on Tuesday night. That's usually a pretty big turnout too. And that's in the farm building community. So a lot of things going on all over at different places. But the one of the other things that's also going to happen in one of the arenas is the KOI drag racing. And then
That's in the back arena,
yeah,
right?
and then the Battle of the Bluegrass pulling season also starts in the main arena at 7:30 that evening on Tuesday.
Battle of the Bluegrass.
Battle of the Bluegrass. Now, that gets us into Wednesday. So we went from little to heavyweight class, and that's going to be the 4-H FFA Beef Show and Livestock Arena. I actually like the Livestock Arena part where they do the bidding and all that stuff, and you walk away with some hamburger at the end of the show.
The one thing about that day, be sure to stress, that is Meade County Farm Bureau Day.
Yeah.
And that's the one day that you can get in for $14.
Yep.
A dollar discount.
A dollar discount for being there.
Now,
and
I will say this: selling tickets.
15's a lot better deal.
15's a lot easier than 14 to
count?
calculate.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right, what's 7 times 14 versus what's 7 times 15? Just makes it a little bit easier.
We don't have any ones hardly except for Wednesday this year.
Yeah,
so that's a
I
good
gotcha.
thing.
Yeah.
That's good. Wednesday, you got the so you got FFA Beef Breeding Stock Show, and then it goes right into Meade County Farm Bureau Day, athletic events. That's noon at the main arena. King Arthur Baking Contest. Now, I don't know why it's named this, King Arthur. Maybe they should have changed it. Given
King Arthur Flour, right?
That is the
Yeah.
sponsor
Yeah,
of it.
I got it.
He's going somewhere that he doesn't need to go.
No, I'm not going. I'm just saying. I'm surprised they haven't. No, I'm just kidding. All right, Wednesday they've got the FFA round robin showmanship competition. That's also happening. I mean, there's just so many activities. How do y'all do this every year, where there are so many things happening on each day? You've got the youth auction, and then the 4-H FFA youth auction. That closes us. Oh, nope. There was one more thing. Wednesday at 7 p.m. is the Texas Hold'em tournament.
That's correct.
So you also got cornhole. You're going to have a Texas Hold'em tournament. But the big show is the rodeo.
The rodeo Wednesday evening, plus the live music in the main arena.
It is. And who's providing the live music this year?
That will be Army of Life will be be the band, and we've hired Levi Wheatley as setting up the stage
The sound,
and the
yeah.
entertainment. So for sound, and we're talked about maybe more than one for the future, but for this year we want to crawl. We don't know what we're doing that much, so we thought we'd let them pay somewhere from like 7:30 to 9:30, 10 o'clock. So
that's good.
that'll be if some people that don't care about a rodeo gives them something to do.
Well, don't forget that on Wednesday the rides open at 4 p.m.
That's right.
Right, so it opens a little early.
Yeah, 'cause
it's an all day at the fair. It's still so. Sometimes people come early in the morning and they do things around, and there's nobody there to take tickets. On Wednesday, tickets will be on sale early. So you buy early, you come back, you can buy the ticket in the morning, do the events, come back after 4 rides, bring the ticket back and get your stamp.
That's right. So
It's good all day.
It's good all day.
now Thursday, when it kicks off, it's going to start at 8:30 in the morning. So again, to David's point, look, guys, it may end late at night with a rodeo, and a concert with live music there in the arena. But they are back and running at 8:30 in the morning because they've got the open poultry and rabbit show, which kicks off the next day. And if you want a breakdown of each one of these on your page 57 of this catalog, it's going to have the 2024 schedule of events by day, and you can get a quick wrap up of that. I'm displaying it right now for everybody. But we're right back into another Miss Preteen pageant. So the young ladies who are looking for aspirations of being the Meade County Fair at some day, they'll have a pageant that day as long as the Miss Teen pageant. So Thursday's packed. Watermelon eating contest. Now, I saw a thing last year that this year that the guy that does, that always wins the hot dog eating contest, he had to step out of the big eating contest this year because of sponsorship. So
yeah, he signed with a different. That's Joey Chestnut.
Yeah. So are we going to have?
And he signed with a different hot dog company this year, and so he went down to Fort Bliss and ate against 4 soldiers down at Fort Bliss. So he had and he won. He ate 59 to their 40 something.
Ridiculous.
And they had to do it. It was like 5 minutes or something like that.
And every one of those soldiers failed the tape test next day. They had to go, I'm just kidding. Well, so watermelon eating contest is our big thing. So we're going to have the watermelon eating contest. That's at 6:30 p.m. in the main arena. I did not get to see that last year. Could you tell me about that?
Which one does that?
The watermelon eating contest on Thursday.
It actually, Emily Thompson handles that for us, and she uses the concrete block. You get out there, you get a garbage bag. They slice them up. Tim Kern helps her with that, and has them sliced. And you've got, I think it's like 2 minutes to eat as much as you can.
Okay.
Swallow some, but what's the bad is clean up in aisle 3 when that's over.
Yeah, y'all just push it over with the dirt, don't you?
Well, we try to get the rinds in a bag.
Yeah.
The rest of it, you just try
Hopefully
to
they're
blend in,
cephas, so they don't have watermelon growing up all summer long.
We haven't seen that yet this year, but that's a great event. It's youth and adult both, so you've got 2 different age groups there to be a part of that. So,
well, the one I do like is the horse pulling contest, and that's going on at 7 p.m. So if you think tractor pulls are awesome, wait till you
Now
see
that's in the back. That's in the back arena, right?
It is in the back arena. That one's going to be cool. And then the demolition derby. I mean, you got to come out for the demolition derby. There's a lot of locals that get in that, as we talked about earlier. The rules for that derby are in the catalog. You can take a look at it. Getting through to make sure there's that all for Thursday.
Yep. Miss Teen pageant was in there too at 7 o'clock.
You mentioned that a while ago. The teen and preteen, there are state level competitions just like there are for the Miss and Mrs. That is in October. So, these girls win locally, they have a chance to go on to the state level.
That's right.
And compete. So
now Friday is a nice calm day.
Yeah.
With the exception of the truck and tractor pull is a big day.
Yep.
At the fair.
It's a calm day when it doesn't rain on Thursday night.
That's right.
Last year was a changeover, but it's a full day event of getting our arena ready for after demolition derby. You not only are out there moving blocks, you've got to pick up car parts. You got to. Last time I said body parts, and you clarified that.
Yeah,
so I'm saying car parts this time. So it is a big event, like Mark said. Getting the track. Even if it's wet, you still add water to it to make the moisture get in the track so it grips all night long. You don't want dust flying off the track.
Well, no. And then Saturday, draft horse and mule show. There's all kinds of stuff going on Saturday. And, of course, this is the getting close to the wrapping it all up. But my favorite, the children's mini truck pull.
Well, that pedal pull is a huge draw.
It was.
Year. And it'll be so funny. We have, probably 40 or 50 of the pulling families that spend the night. And every one of them come out either for the battery-powered pull or they come up for the pedal pull, because the gentleman we use that Planned Hook, he's the name of the company, he actually has an adult tractor. And if you've ever seen these tractors, they look like the real thing that he's made. And he's really good. He puts a lot of effort in as the MC of it, so he draws a lot of people.
You also got a pet and dog show that day in the main arena.
Yeah, we've had all the way to llamas. It's been a lot of multiple events. They had I guess a duck or a goose that was on a leash. We've had lots of things.
So a lot of surprises to be
a lot
seen.
of surprises.
But you never know if you don't go. So, talk to us about what it must be like to come to the end of the fair, all of these volunteers, and the lights go off.
It actually is on, you're so tired most of the time. By Saturday, you're kind of glad, but it is a sad time.
Yeah.
I mean, you spend every waking moment with your fair family, and my wife is there every minute that I am, and we go back and forth. We usually are there.
She's the window lady.
Mm-hmm.
We get there like 6:30 in the morning, 2:30, something like that. We go home, get up back at 6:30 the next morning, and just to get it going, because it's 7 a.m. We've got garbage pickup going on. It's such a routine. You're running on adrenaline most of the time, and
Sure.
I've got, like I said earlier, 9 other board members besides myself, and a great mixture of expertise in different fields and age, and that makes a big difference when you can surround yourself with great folks that have the expertise to learn and want to make it better. So our whole goal in that is, I would be failing if I wasn't training these folks to take over. Sure. And that day will be here. And it's some people think I've been there too long, but as long as I still think I'm a vital part, I will do my best to be there, to be a part of it, and I enjoy it. I eat, drink, and sleep the fair, so it's a great thing for our community, and that's people ask us why. I said, look out here.
Well, I drank the Kool-Aid.
Walked up to the windows while you do it. So.
That's right.
Well, I drank the Kool-Aid, so you got me at hello. So, any final thoughts on the fair for folks to get ready, or any other announcements, or anything that they don't know that they should know now?
Well, we always try to keep our website. It's being updated right now. So, and we do our best to try to stress to people 2 or 3 things. Number 1, be weather conscious. If it's 100 degrees outside,
drink water.
Be sure you're taking the precautions of drinking, being in water, try to keep hydrated, try to get into the shaded areas. We do offer areas to go cool down. We have a EMS station up there in the command center, and we actually have multiple sites for people to be able to do that for handicapped or anything else. And we offer shuttle service with the COP department, with the Brandenburg Police Department. So, there are ways, and then whenever weather is coming, and if you're at the fairgrounds, we will do our best. Now that Jeff Cox has taken over, Ron Dotson was a saint to us, and Mr. Gene Webster, he helps us anytime storms coming up. He comes in, sets up, and helps us look and talk with the weather service. We chat with them one-on-one. Where are we looking? What's the time frames? And we start announcing right then. There is potential. We don't want to scare people, but I don't want it to be at the bypass before we tell somebody it's coming.
Yeah.
And we do our best safety-wise to make sure those folks have enough time. If they want to leave, they can leave.
Right.
And one thing that we do stress, I know people get upset. They get to the fair, or maybe they've been there an hour and it rains. Okay, our event has to be canceled. We have no refunds. Once the event is started, we do not have a refund policy. And, it's just, that's with our entertainment group that we hire, it's the only way you can make it work. So, unfortunately.
No, we get that.
Like you all getting the word out, thank you all very much for doing this. And, the week of the fair, I love doing the podcast. I'm late most days, but, it makes it work out for us to make it.
We have a problem on the barn side. Come over here now. We get those calls.
We know you walk over, you have the radio.
Yeah.
And once the radio goes off, we know that we have to adjust and pivot, right? So
I think last year I had the radio. I was talking on the radio and a phone call at the same time.
Yeah,
you were on the podcast. But
it's all right.
But I'm sorry about that. But
no, it's just part of it.
Work. But
we're good.
And we do appreciate you all doing this and doing the nightly, so people can keep.
We might be able to do it a little earlier this year. I don't know. We'll have to work out a schedule
whichever works.
Because last year you were still coming from Fort Knox, so this year
completely different circumstances.
Yeah, so I think that we might be able to get in and do it a little bit before everything gets really hot.
Yeah, and
and
plus
heavy.
we'll have the equipment set up. I won't have to set it up every day. So
Yeah.
Another group that I'd be remiss if I didn't is our emergency service folks that help us.
Absolutely.
Jeff Cox now, he's taking over our police, Brandenburg Police Department, Meade County Sheriff's Department, EMS, and all the fire departments. If you don't have those volunteers, we don't have it. You got to have that to be able to have those events that we have.
Well, I think it's a tremendous job what all those folks do, all of the volunteers, the board members. I know they put their heart and soul into it, and I know just from the paper perspective of us working back and forth with each of the coordinators to get all the information so we could get it right. And I'm sure there's going to be a typo. Good Lord, I've been typoed left and right. But if you find it, just tell us it's a Easter egg for you out there. But for the most part, we will keep you up to date every day at the fair, just like David said. And hopefully we don't have any, we have a safe fair, we have a blessed fair, and that everybody comes out and we can break records this year with the rodeo. I'm excited this year.
That'd be great. We'd love to have everybody and a friend.
Yeah, that's right. Bring a friend and their friend too.
One thing I'd like to point out, please don't blame the people selling you the tickets because the tickets price went up.
Yeah.
They're a group that's done an excellent job, and I've talked about that. They do a great job. They help us with troubleshooting on a lot of things. We're working on some signage right now.
Sure.
We're trying to meet to do a refresher course for some that haven't done it. We're going to meet at the fairgrounds, go through the scenarios, how it works, and our whole goal is people don't know. That's not just selling a ticket. That's a science out there. How we give you a number of tickets, how we balance that person every time you get new tickets. It's
you can't just hand a roll of tickets to a salesperson. You have to be able to balance out the numbers and things. Like David said, it's a science.
Yeah.
There's people who in different steps of the organization that we have to go to make sure we're crossing all the T's and dotting all the I's, make sure everything adds up correctly. So that when at the end of the night, they're not trying to struggle to figure out where dollars went to and where tickets went to and things like that. So
they don't realize they have to work with my daughter in that building to balance it. And one thing
she does a good job.
We want to stress that also is we do take credit card at the gate and we do take credit card payments at the office. So
That's good.
that was something we've been doing for 3-4 years.
Yeah, I don't know if you've planned to expand that or not at this point, because I think with the price going up, there might be an opportunity. I was going to talk to you about when we got off the air, but I know it was a question we have to think about.
We did order extra machines this year.
Did you?
So
Good. It'd be nice to have a couple at each side. On each side, yeah, be good.
So,
Good deal.
Well, I hate to do this, but I'm glad.
I love the conversation. I can just go on and on.
I'm glad you came in wearing the other hat, and we didn't have to wear both hats tonight. So this was all about the fair, and glad we could be fair about it. We've been fair and balanced a lot, and I've been trying to keep it that way. So, David, thanks for joining us on the show. We will send you on our way. Mark, I don't think we're going to have time to get to our other topic tonight, but
no, we'll get into that next week. That's not our problem. It's already been a little while. We wanted to talk about the debate and how that went, and what that means. We can get into that next week.
Sounds good.
It'll hold for us.
Well, for everybody out there in podcast land and the Messenger KY and the Meade Truth, thanks for following us and keeping up with all the news. That's the news across the nation. Pardon me, sir. Did you see what happened?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mark, send us out.
Well, thank you all for joining us today. Thanks to David Pace for coming in with us. As Steve said, we just want to make sure that we're bringing you as much information as possible that you all can have. We want you to have a great time at the fair. We want to make sure that you understand all the events that are coming up and kind of just give you a preview of what's going on. Hopefully we did that well for you today, and we look forward to talking to you again next week. So come back out and listen to us.
We'll see y'all later.
Bye.
thank you all.